Now we have learnt almost all the vibhaktis, or we have an idea about all different words, Strilinga, Pullinga, Napumsakalinga, all of them. See, here is a shloka, Ramo Rajamanihi, that shloka. In that shloka, they have used Rama words, all vibhaktis in Ekavachanam. For example, Ramaha Rajamanihi Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Yeah, which means we know always Rama will be having that victory. So I will bhaje, I will do salutations, or I will do puja of that Rama, which means here the same Rama word has become an object. Here it was Ramaha Rajamanihi Sada Vijayate. Ramaha will have win always. Here it was a subject. Here it has changed as object. Now Ramena Abhihataha Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. What they are saying? Nishacharachamu, which means group of Nishacharas, I mean Rakshasas, or army of the demons. It will be Abhihata. That group of that army has been killed by Rama. We know how to use Tritiya Vibhakti, by someone or with someone, in that way. So by they are using. So Ramena Abhihataha. Then Namaha. To whom? Whom I am now doing Namaskara? Ramaya. To him. So this is what? Chaturthi Vibhakti. So the same Rama word was in subject, object, instrumental, dative. Now Ramat Nasti Parayanam Parataram. The great thing or the ultimate thing is not there other than Rama. So Ramat Nasti, other than him, or they are showing separated. Like if we go away from Rama, nothing else will be there, which is called ultimate thing. So that's how they have used Ramat. Then Ramasya dasosmi aham Ramasya dasaha. I am dasa, means I am a servant. Then servant of, can you remember? Apostrophe s or of we have used for Shashti Vibhakti. So Ramasya, I am a dasa of Rama. Ramasya dasosmi aham. Rame chitta layah sada bhavatu me. So what they are saying at the end? My chitta, my mind, laya, my mind should go to Rama always, or my mind should end in Rama, which means always I should think about Rama only. Always I pray for him only. So here Rame, they are using as locative case. We are learning this Ramat, Ramasya and Rame today in today's class. So Hey Rama is an vocative case, or Sambodhana we call. So O Rama, O God Rama, Mam Uddhara. So please protect me. In that way, in this shloka they have shown all the vibhaktis, how they will move in Ekavachanam. They have used all those Ekavachanam vibhaktis, Ekavachana of Rama vibhakti, Rama word. Now we'll move to the verbs table. As I said in the beginning only, some verbs table also we need to learn to understand how to construct a sentence. So here mainly they are saying present tense. See, they have written over present. Let us take present tense. That's okay, no problem. Present tense. So any verb you take, it will end ti and taha and anti in third person. In second person, si, thaha and tha. In first person, mi, vaha and maha, or ami, avaha, amaha. Like that also we can say for our understanding. So let us take an example and try. Here you find bhavati, bhavataha and bhavanti in third person. In second person, bhavasi, bhavathaha, bhavatha. In first person, bhavami, bhavavaha, bhavamaha. We have seen this one earlier only. I have taught this one. Once again, just for just to remind. So ti, taha, anti, si, thaha, tha. And then me they have written, but we can take ami because previous letter will become a prolonged version. So ami, avaha and amaha. This is how the present tense will be used, will be taken into action when we are constructing a sentence. So let us see, if it's okay in present tense, we have learned what would happen in future tense. Why? Because we are going to future tense, because it's easier, almost same like present tense. We'll see. See here, they have written bhavishyati. Ti is at the end. Bhavishyataha taha anti. Si thaha tha. Ami avaha amaha. The same how present tense was there, the same way ending of future tense will be similar, but only one letter we are going to add in between. After this one, shya will be added, but we should not say, as we said bhavati, the same way after va we should not add shya and we are saying bhavashyati, it will be wrong, but previous letter will become e. How bhava was there, bhavi will happen, so bhavishyati, bhavishyatah, bhavishyanti. This is how present tense and future tense will have the similarities, almost 95% similarities you can find, and you can easily construct or make some other verbs also. For example, here you can see some verbs. For example, the root, as I said in the beginning classes, there will be something called root or mula, verbal noun or verbal root, and then the word related root in that way. So kurd, what does it mean? Jump. So in latlakar, which means in present tense I'll write, and in future I'll write here, which means present tense, here which means future tense. Kurdati, kurdishyati. If it is kup, kupyati, kopishyati. Pat, patati, patishyati. Gumph, gumphati, gumphishyati. Krudh, krudhyati, krotsyati. Kship, kshipati, kshepishyati. At, atati, atishyati. Arch, archati, archishyati. Khad, khadati, khadishyati. Likhati, so lik will become likhati and lekhishyati. So ji, jayati, jeshyati. Pa, pibati, and it should become pasyati. Okay, pasyati. This is how mula dhatu or a root will become in present tense and as well as in future tense. So you should know these things. If it is kurdati, you know, if there is a root kurd, how to make it in present, you know, kurdati, then next definitely you can easily take it off, because kurdati, kurdatah, kurdanti. The same way, let us take in kupyati. See, as it is kupyati, kupyatah, kupyanti is there, but you don't know how will happen in future tense, so they have changed, like kopishyati happened. So now you know first one, third person ekavachan, then kopishyati, next is same, kopishyati, kopishyatah, kopishyanti. Kopishyasi, kopishyatah, kopishyatha. Then kopishyami, kopishyavah, kopishyamah. So in this way it will be very easier. So you need to practice these both table also often. Now we'll move to Panchami Vibhakti. Can you remember, we have finished first 4 Vibhaktis, Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya and Chaturthi. Now we are into Panchami Vibhakti. What is this Panchami Vibhakti? And the major rule you need to remember is subject of a sentence will be in Prathama Vibhakti. Then depending on the speaker, subject will be decided whether to be in singular or plural. Subject and the verb will go hand in hand. If subject is in singular, then verb also will be in singular. This is what the meaning. This is the major rule for any sentences. Then what about Panchami Vibhakti? It's here again. This Vibhakti is called ablative case also, that's okay. In English we use from, right? Like I'm coming from, all these things. He is coming from his village, like this we use. So which means Panchami Vibhakti. This explains the separation from a place, person, things, etc. For example, how he is coming from, that's a separation. Okay, so Ramat, separation. Thing, Vrikshat, separation. If an action is getting separated from a thing or a place or a person, then we need to show, or we need to put it in a word or in a sentence. Then we need to use this Panchami Vibhakti. The number are used by the speaker, depending on that vachana will be fixed. That's a common rule for all the Vibhaktis. So for example, I am coming from the city. See, I am coming from the city. From, it's separated, right? This is how, these are all the major rules to use Panchami Vibhakti. Then a word which gets at, I'll write over here at. Can you remember Ramat or Devat? Then if it is in Strilinga, Ayaha. For example, I'll write here Ayaha, Sitayaha, Ramayaha. At the end, that will become Panchami Vibhakti roughly. Then irrespective of gender, we can use taha, this is one major point. Taha, the word might be in any gender. Instead of at or ayaha, if we use taha letter, then that shows Panchami Vibhakti. For example, let us think I am using a word deva, then I should use devat. If I am using sita, sitayaha I should use. Instead of that one, if I am going for this, adding this suffix, then what will happen? Devataha, sitataha. Yes, that's all. Taha, I am ending for the main, what is the word? For that word I am going to add taha as a suffix. Then it will give me the Panchami Vibhakti meaning. So depending on gender, last part of the word will change. If I go to this idea, then depending on the gender, ending part will change. If I go to this, there is no changes, taha will remain same for all. So depending on the speaker, subject will be decided whether to be in singular plural. That is true. Subject and the verb will go hand in hand. That is also right. Okay, these are the important points. See, for example, here one picture you can see. Here what's happening, there's a tree and something is falling away from tree. So what is falling? Leaf or leaves, let us say. So patram, which means leaf. In plural, vanam, vane, vanani. So patram, patre, patrani. I should say patrani. So patrani, patanti, falling, right? From where? From a tree. Then how should I say? Vrikshat, patrani, patanti. Or vrikshataha, patrani, patanti. Both the way it's right. So vrikshat, patrani, patanti is a good usage. And vrikshataha is also usage, but it's okay in spoken part, not in the scripts or somewhere else. Okay, now we'll see some examples to understand this concept clearly. Yes, for example, ashwat patati. See, here is a person riding and he is falling from a horse, right? Here. So ashwat patati. Instead of ashwat, if I use this one, nothing wrong in that. So ashwataha patati, right? Ashwat patati or ashwataha patati. Okay, then grihat agachati. Someone is coming from his house. So grihat or grihataha. Then nagarat chalati. Nagarat or nagarataha. Then vrikshat patati, as I shown in the previous example, vrikshat or vrikshataha. Then if it is in Strilinga, shala is in a Strilinga, or this is a Strilinga word. Shalayaha chalati or shalataha chalati. Vatikayaha agachati or vatikataha agachati, whichever. Here see, pushpa, some flowers are falling. So pushpani vrikshat patanti. Or see, bird, pakshi jalat gachati, from water it's going up. So pakshi jalat bahihi gachati. Then here is a bus. So what we can say? Vahanam nagarat chalati. And see, here some vehicle is about to fall. So what we can say is Vahanam parvatat patati. Vahanam parvatat patati. Then what? Saha balakaha ashvat patati, whichever the way. So if at all it is aham, instead of third person as a subject, if I take first person, then aham ashvat patami. Aham grahat patami. See, the verb is depending only on the subject and it changes, but this vibhakti words, they don't have to do anything with the verb or the subject. This is all about Panchami Vibhakti. Next we are having Shashthi in our hand. These are all the same rules, whatever you have seen. Now, what is that Shashthi? This Vibhakti is also called relative case. So relative, a relativity. How? We'll see. In English we use of, his or her in that way, right? Of. So, or apostrophe s sometimes. So that meaning Shashthi Vibhakti. How? For example, Rama's son or place is related to. In that way we need to, in that meaning we need to use Shashthi Vibhakti. Okay? Then how it will change? A word which gets siya at the end, or ayaha again, sitayaha, can you remember? Devasya, that will become Shashthi Vibhakti. Yes, depending on the gender, last part will change. That is a normal rule. Okay, this is also subject and the verb will be having the connection, but nothing it should do with the this Shashti Vibhakti is not going to deal with any of these things, subject or the verb. And subject and the verb will go hand in hand. That is also right. So, for example, I'll write here Ramasya Putraha, right? Then the same way I'll write Sitayaha. See here, Sitayaha Patihi. In Strilinga Ayaha and in Pullinga Sya. That is the difference between genders. See some examples. Yeah, I have written Ramasya Pita Dasharatha, Arjunasya Putraha Abhimanyuhu, Sitayaha Patihi Ramaha, Balakasya Pustakam. The book is related to Balaka. Okay. Then Balikayaha Lekhani, Balikayaha Lekhani. Then Amra Vrikshasya Param. There is a tree, mango tree. This fruit is related to this tree. Okay. See here the examples. See, one dancer is here. Let us call Nartaki. How to say that one? See, just see this picture and try to relate something. For example, Nartakyaha Nrityam, and here Balakasya Lekhani, Balakasya Pustakam, whatever. Here Vadakaha, Vadakasya Vadyam. Then Balakasya Geetam. Then Sitayaha Patihi you can think, or Ramasya Dhanuhu you can think. Oh, that would be Shivasya Dhanuhu, right? That one. And then here someone, let us think he is Lakshmana. Lakshmanasya Khadgam. See, Lakshmanasya Yuddham, whatever. It is related to him in that way. That is okay. If at all I need to say it's my, how to say? See, Mama. Can you remember Mama Nama the same way? Instead of Balakasya, if I have to say Mama Lekhani, Mama Pustakam, there is only word for Mama irrespective of gender. In any gender, there is no gender differences. Mama for all, for girls as well as for boys. Mama, Mama Pustakam, Mama Lekhani, Mama Khadgam, Mama Dhanuhu, Mama Sangeetam, Mama Vadyam, Mama Nrityam, whatever you take, no problem. This is how the sentences will be in this Shashti Vibhakti. Now what would happen in Saptami? In Saptami we can see something. In English we use in, on, under. Like there is a book, see, you can see pen is on the table and clothes are in the cupboard. Glass is under the table. In that way, it's a location. So when we are showing or explaining a location, then we need to use Saptami Vibhakti. It's a simple idea. Then how it will change? A word which gets a, can you remember? Rame or Deve. Then Sitayam, can you remember? It was there in Strilinga, Sitayam. In Pullinga, a will happen, and in Strilinga, Ayam will happen in Saptami Vibhakti. And other than this, everything is same. Gender, depending on the gender, last part of the word will get some changes. And depending on the speaker, subject will be decided whether to be in singular or plural. That is also right. So subject and the verb will go hand in hand. That is also right. Verb does not depend on vocative case or vocative word, not dative, vocative. Yes. And then let us see some sentences now. See here, there's a glass, water is inside the glass. So I can say Jalam Chashake Asti, which means Chashakaha is the word. So Chashake, it will happen like that. So if I say Simhaha Guhayam Asti, lion is in a cave. So Guhayam, why? Because Guha is in Strilinga. So I should say Guhayam Asti. Then Gita, Bhagavad Gita Mahabharate Asti, Bhagavad Gita Mahabharate Asti. Vede Upanishad Asti, Upanishad Vede Asti. Then Sharire Jiva, Jivaha, Jivaha Kutra Asti, Jivaha Sharire Asti. Can you remember that? Kutra, Tatra, Atra. So that is also related to this part only. Then Shlokaha Kutra Asti, Shlokaha Gitayam Asti, because Strilinga again. How Guhayam we have used the same way, Gitayam. Okay, now we'll see something. See, Bijam. Here was a Bija, what? Seed. Kutra asti? Bijam bhumau asti or bhumyam asti. Then kimapi madhuram. Let us take madhuram sthalikayam asti. Sthalika is a strilinga word which means a plate. So sthalikayam asti, in a plate. Jalam chashake asti. We have seen this. Chitram pustake asti. Then kamalam jale asti. Then see, if he presses this button, the knife will come out. So which means this part is called koshaha. Let us take koshaha. So asihi will tell for knife. So asihi koshe asti. Then what is this? It's a stone, right? This person, let us call him as Rama. Rama is sitting on a stone and he is getting up. See, so Ramaha shilayam upavishati. Let us say. So this is how we need to make the vocative case or the sentences. So nagare asti. So katham, how to tell? Saha kutra asti. Saha nagare asti. So balika kutra asti. Balika shalayam asti. This is how we need to make saptami vibhakti sentences. Then if I move to the next part, some usages are there. Cha, api, punaha, anantaram, alam, mastu, na, ataha, evam, eva. What is the meaning? Cha. See, if you need to say a sentence, Rama and Krishna, then Ramaha, Krishnaha, cha. In English, it will come in between two objects, two words to say and, but here in Sanskrit at the end cha will come. How? Ramaha cha Krishnaha. This is also right way, but generally Ramaha Krishnaha cha we will say. Api, which means and only, but even he. How? For example, I can say Rama is going to school and even his brother, I should say, or let us say Rama is going to forest and even Sita also, I should say. That moment, how? Ramaha vanam gacchati. That's the sentence. Ramaha vanam gacchati. Sita api gacchati. Even Sita goes with Rama. Sita api gacchati. In that context, we have to use api. Punaha, which means again. How? So someone is telling something, I didn't hear clearly. So punaha, which means again. Anantaram, next word. How? For example, Kaksha samapta. Anantaram, so class is over. What next? Anantaram. So that is what next. Alam, which means enough. Alam, enough. So jalam, alam, enough of water. Or khadanam alam, enough of eating. Alam. Mastu, don't want. I don't want. Someone asks you to have something. So take some food. No, I don't want. So khadati, mastu. Don't want. Na, which means generally no, just to say no. For example, Bhavan Krishnaha, na, aham Ramaha. So esha lekhani, na, etat pustakam, in that way, no. Ataha, which means so. How to use so? I have done something, so I am not coming in that way. For example, bahihi, okay, let us take in this way. Varsham asti, varsham, which means rain also. Varsham asti, ataha na gacchami. There's raining, so I don't come or I don't go. So varsham asti ataha na gacchami, in that way. Evam, which means like this. For example, evam, how to say evam? In a sentence, it is like evam. Just general usage also we can do by this. How? Ramaha vanam gacchati, or Ramaha Ravanam jayati evam yuddham jayati. Like that also we can use. Eva, which means only. How? For example, this flower is white only. For example, I should show some new thing I am explaining. There's a kamalam, let us say. Kamalam shvetaha eva. It's only white color. Or Manushyaha uttamaha eva. Humans are always good. Only. They are all only good people. So eva. This is how we have to show. For example, do not want, mastu. Then enough of talking, here. Then sorry, try again. So try again. Next, then sorry, anantaram is here, next, in this way. Sorry, I haven't shown in this video. Next I'll show what about sorry. So this and how to use I have shown here. Cha word usage, Ramah Krishna cha, api mama mitram api asti, I am here and my friend also is here. Punaha vadati, anantaram karyakramasya anantaram kim, after the program. What is after the program? What about next program? In that way. Alam, so sambhashanam alam, enough of talking. Ataha aham bhojanam na karomi, ataha shaktihi nasti, so I don't eat, that's the reason there is no power in me. Nasti, na, it's not there, the same thing. So eta chitram na, okay. Mastu, annam mastu, I don't want rice. Okay, evam I have shown you. Evam kaksha samapta, how like this class got ended. In that way I should say evam. Eva, I am Ramaha eva. I don't know, I see a boy, I'd have some confusion whether he is Krishna or Rama or someone else. Then I'll say no, he is Rama only. So yes, I am Ramaha eva or Eshaha Ramaha eva. So in this way we will use all these usages, normal usages. So this is what about today. We have seen some words table and verbs table, and as well as Panchami, Shashti and Saptami Vibhakti. In the next class I will show how to use all the Vibhaktis in a single sentence. See, generally we know subject and verb will be there, and in between these two we are going to put all the other Vibhaktis together. That moment what will happen, we are able to construct a sentence. That's how we need to see. Okay, thank you.